guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video we got something mega different on the dyno today, guys. I'm super excited about this one because it is my personal bike. Yeah, that's right, guys. My 2025 Harley Road Glide CVO 131RR. So for those of you who don't know the backstory on this thing, there's 131 of them in the world. It is 131 cubic inches. Harley built these things special. There's only, mine is number 125 out of 131. This thing is super sick. Carbon fiber, everything. Billet, everything else. Titanium exhaust. Look at the swing arm, guys. The swing arm, a solid hunk of billet aluminum is what it started its life as. They said the block of aluminum weighed over 400 pounds that they had to make each swing arm. Saddlebags, all carbon fiber. The price tag on this bike, $110,000 MSRP, straight from Harley Davidson. It is a different breed of its own. Look at the Brembo brakes that are on this thing. It is absolutely insane. What kind of power is it gonna make? Well, we're gonna find out today. This may be the first and maybe the only dyno video you're gonna see on these things. A lot of people that bought these bikes are gonna end up just sticking them in the garage, in the museum. They're going somewhere, guys, but a lot of these things you're not gonna see out in the wild getting ridden around. But me, I'm gonna play with mine a little bit and then maybe I'll just park it. Who knows? I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Might even let one of you guys hold it if you really wanted it. Anyways, here we go, boys. We're about to see what this Harley CVO Screaming Eagle is all about. Before we get into the dyno numbers, let's talk about what's done to this thing. Absolutely nothing. She's 100% bone stock condition from the factory. Stock exhaust, super quiet. Too quiet, really. I mean, how do you say you got a Harley and you can't hear it run? But anyways, that's what I got. We're gonna test this thing out, see what it makes, and then it has baffles in the exhaust. I'm going to try to remove these baffles in this Akropovich muffler to try to get a little more sound out of it, and we're going to find out if that will give us a little more power as well. But my first impressions of this thing riding on the street, I've done heat cycles on it, a lot of them, about 15. I put a fan on it, get it hot, cold, load the motor different ways. Long story short, the engine is broken in. I've got some street miles on it. I've got some, if I got a first ride video, you can go check that out. But overall, the handling on this thing is absolutely insane. For an 800-pound bagger, I mean, look how wide it is. Like, it's insanely big, but I swear you can throw it over in the turn. I mean, it honestly feels kind of comparable to like a Hayabusa. I'm not gonna tell you it's a GSX-R, like it'll handle that good, but like a Busa, yeah, it's kind of similar, boys. Like, it's a heavy machine, but Harley has really done a good job where you can throw this thing over in a turn. I could only imagine if this suspension was all professionally dialed in for your weight, for whatever the riding you want to do. This thing right here, when I got it, I thought it was like a touring bag, but it's not. That's made to whenever you're going in a turn, you can throw your knee up against that and lay it over in a turn a lot better. I guess when the motorcycle weighs 800 pounds, you got to do a lot of stuff like that to make this thing possible in order to handle. But overall, I know I ticketed it out first gear, 30 miles an hour, nail the gas, it power wheelies. So I know it's got to be making some power. I know it's got to be making some torque. Let's see what the numbers are. Here we go, guys. We're about to find out what kind of numbers this 131 Harley engine can put down to the tire on the dyno. Comment and let me know what you think. How much horsepower and how much torque? Comment now. Don't wait and watch the results. Let's see what this thing makes. What do you think about the numbers versus the price? $110,000 for X amount of horsepower? Comment, let me know what you think. The power is not that much. So we got the first two runs were done in track mode, 133.88, 134. The second run I did 127.81. That was in basically custom mode A, which I have in sport mode with all the traction control off, all that good stuff. I don't know if this thing has got something holding it back. Harley claims them at 155. I don't know if that's 155 to the crankshaft or 155 to the tire. 134 is what we got. I'm gonna do some digging in on taking the baffle out of this muffler, see if that helps any. All right, guys, so we've been doing some research here. Take a look at our findings. I'm gonna delete this and make it a different color so it's easier to see. Our red line is custom mode A. Okay, look how much more power it makes. So for one, this thing made 139 foot-pounds of torque and 134 horsepower. So let's look at our blue line, which is this one here. So 50 horsepower, and then we switched it over to custom A and it made 81 horsepower. So 30 horsepower gain at 3,200 RPMs, but we lost a bunch of power up top. We went from 122 horsepower to 134. It's all in that custom mapping, but look at the torque curves, and all this stuff is basically restriction in the stock ECU. So now I just went in, tinkered around with the mapping and the gauges, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a Harley expert, and this thing has a lot of stuff going on. But you can see here we got a lot of settings. We got rider modes. Now we got a custom track mode edited. That's on edit engine map. We got it on track, where I know for a fact custom A was on sport. Now we also have on throttle response, that's on max, so that's the best it can be. And then traction control, we have on track plus, which I had the traction control turned off the last pass, or all the passes basically, but who knows if it was actually holding it back. Let's fire it up and run it on track plus now. You can see the mode is switched. That's track mode, that's track plus mode. We're gonna bumper into neutral, fire it up. See what she'll do now. So the horsepower numbers were basically the same, and the disappointing part is on the track mode you can see we got no power down low. So why? Let's try it on sport mode and see what that does for it. We have not tried sport mode. We just got to learn this thing and see what she's all about. Let's see if sport mode gives us any more power. So sport mode gave us more power down low. No comprende. Why? So the orange line is sport mode 127, and you can see the power follows this, but track and track plus at 3,000 RPMs is just super neutered. But you can see our sport mode and custom mode A, the same power up top. So I'm going to look into getting the baffles out of these things. I don't really think they're going to make much power difference, but let's see what kind of results we get with that. Well, that escalated quickly. So when I've got this thing, in the very first video I said I'm not going to mess with it. Whatever it is, I'm not touching this thing. Well, 133 horsepower, you know, not exactly as cool as I was wanting. So I said, you know what, I got to do some digging. This thing, we saw the horsepower curve, you know, one goes down like this and up, and the other one goes up like this and then down. That sucks. Come on, dude. So I've done a little tapping and a little fixing and a little figuring out, and I have got my live data from Woolits Racing to work. So now I can data log it, boys. We're about to see how much restriction is in this big hog. So we're gonna run it on Track Plus because that is what gave us the best horsepower a minute ago, but also had the most restriction. So let's prop up our camera. Let's make another pull. I'll even turn this laptop to where you can see it maybe. Nah, you're not gonna be able to see it. Too much glare. Anyways, we're gonna review the data here in just a second. See what we got. So there you have it. We just made our run. 137 horsepower that time. So I don't really know what's going on. We're getting a little more power. 142 foot-pounds of torque. And I know the engine was not cooler because I've been running a good bit testing all this stuff before we went live with you guys on camera. Let's see. You know what? I gotta run it. It won't record with me having it plugged in. Hold on one second here. Let me see. Just make sure. Yeah, I gotta run it one more time off without it being plugged in for live data, guys, to get a recording. One more time. Off camera, that pass, we got 136 horsepower and 142 foot-pounds of torque. So we're still getting a little better. But take a look at this info we got here, okay, guys? This is our Woolwich Racing tuning software that we use for all our sport bikes. And look here. So this is the RPM, and this shows what gear we're in. We're in 5th gear. And we whack the throttle. So this up here is TPS. So this is my hand. This is the ETV, which is electronic throttle valve. That's how much throttle Harley, the ECU, is giving the bike when I'm giving it 100%. So I'm the bike is what the hell? So you can see it stays like that, 25%. Now imagine $110,000 for said motorcycle. I go 100%, but motorcycle says, nah, I don't know how much it costs to go faster, but you didn't pay enough. So we got 20-something% throttle at 3,000 RPMs. And then at 4,000, you can go back and watch the video and listen. You can hear it. It goes crazy. And then you can see it jumps up to 90% at 4,000, which is exactly what I hear / feel when you ride the thing. And then at 40, let's call it 4,500, it's at 100% throttle, and it holds 100% throttle pretty much until the rev limiter, which you don't hear a rev limiter because there technically is no rev limiter. It's just a throttle shutdown. So you can see here we went from 6,000 RPMs, 100% throttle, to 6,000 RPMs, 20% throttle. So, and then as you can see, our speed is increasing until we hit that brick wall where it no longer increases and our horsepower is gone. So just for fun, I'm gonna try to dyno it in 4th gear to see if that makes any difference, but I don't think it is. I'll be right back with my findings. Here we go, guys, 4th gear dyno pull. Let's see what we got now. same power. Let's see if our throttle plates did anything different. So the data log does confirm no matter what, RPMs are definitely, or throttle is definitely limited in the lower RPMs. This is a 4th gear run, but it definitely shuts down early. So that time on the dyno, we went to like 6,600 RPMs. We come out here on our Woolits Racing log, sure enough, 6,600 RPMs, but we're all the way down to 46% throttle right before it shuts completely down. So definitely, if you got one of these things, you want to shift it around 6,000. Now let's see if we can get the baffles out of the exhaust once it cools down. See if it makes a little more noise and a little more power. The baffle from the exhaust system has been removed. So the baffles 200% block a lot of air. Let's fire it up now. See what it sounds like. Definitely sounds throatier. A little more rumble. Let's see what it does. See if we got any more power. I did crank it up with no muffler whatsoever. Sounded like a real hog. I wish I could have left it like that, but I don't know. Let's see. I didn't turn the traction control off. So we picked up a couple horsepower, it looks like about the same torque. So, man, part of me really wants to run it with the muffler completely off, but I'm not gonna do that in today's video. Comment in the comments below, what do you guys think about the power of the Harley? What do you think about our new toy? Comment, let me know, subscribe, smash the like button. We appreciate you watching, guys. We'll see you next time.